sticky fingers.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Context Needed podcast, opening with a sticky fingers from Ollie.
Sticky fingers. I have got very sticky fingers.
It's definitely not from what he says it is. It's definitely from what you think it is.
Vicious masturbating.
Demonetized.
You continue introducing. I'm going to go wash my sticky fingers quickly.
Okay. Well,
Good.
Ollie... I'm Kyle. Ollie's just ran off to wash the cum stains from his fingers, so he'll be back shortly. And then we have the fucking weeb trash that is Ryan with us as well, as usual.
HD, full proper DSLR, spicy. Well, not DSLR, it's a mirrorless.
If you are watching this video, can you see how he strategically placed it to hide his double chin? He's getting it out.
Double chin there.
He's getting it out for those who are audio listening. Those rolls that you can hear moving, that's his double chin moving as he speaks.
Wait a second. Can you hear
stop.
that beard?
Stop, please.
Welcome to ASMR.
So the same as last week. This is a pre-recorded podcast. I'm back to work now, working away from home. So it will still be streamed live at the normal time, but we aren't actually here while it's streaming. This is all pre-recorded.
I am a mere illusion.
I am falsified information that has been pre-recorded onto a fake camera. Hi Ollie, how are you doing?
I just walked into.
I was just letting them know how this is all fake. It isn't live, and we are not actually males.
This is actually a figment of your imagination.
There is no Context Needed podcast. You are just going insane.
Burn the orphanage, Gary.
Well, Ollie, you said you've got some interesting information that is unraveling as we speak. So
it is literally as we speak. So, oh shit, I forgot my water. Oh, dog. So yesterday, and it might have been the day before actually, I had some random guy message me saying, tell your brother to give me my money back. And I was a bit like, what the fuck's this? Like, no, I said which, I've got two brothers. I was like, which brother? I don't really understand.
Which one's messing with the kingpin underlords again?
Yeah, and it was the eldest brother. And they just said, he sold me. He sold me a Ford Fiesta ST rear diffuser. But I haven't had it or something like that, and it was a scam. Someone had used my brother's name, to go into this fucking. They basically got on his pictures, got on his name, made a fake account, and got on this group and bought loads of stuff for a car, using my brother's name, and a fake PayPal link. So when you click on the link, I mean. It's pretty clearly a scam, but obviously these people just aren't quite as savvy. Like if someone wants to pay for something, it wasn't even PayPal; it was a fake PayPal thing, basically. So it's for a fake payment. So loads of these people have sent these packages off, and obviously no money's come through, and this person's just vanished as soon as they've confirmed that they've sent it. These people he's vanished, and some people have managed to be quick enough and find out it's a scam and cancel the package going. Some people have sent it and it's gone, and I've been talking to them because obviously everyone was having to go at my brother because they thought it was him. Yeah. And literally, he's nothing to do with it. As it turns out, this person's been going into this group, stealing identities, and doing this. He's been buying things with fake money and also selling things, so he's been getting money and then just vanishing again. But as it turns out, this guy is a fucking moron because he's been sending all these packages to his own fucking house. So first I checked the address, and I was looking around on Google Maps, couldn't really find anything. I've spoken to a lot of the victims because obviously a lot of them were having to go at my brother, and I was trying to explain the situation to him. And one of them said, "Oh yeah, someone knows this lad in the area. It's probably him. He's at that address, and he's been known to do this before." So they gave the profile. I couldn't find anything really, concrete. And then I Googled his name, and there was a picture of him from when he passed his driving test about a year or two ago, standing outside that very fucking house. He has the same car that all these parts are for. There's a picture of him stood outside the fucking house that all these packages have gone to. He used the same email address when he contacted all these people. So it's like, basically, I've managed to find this guy, and I basically just said, right, the problem is that some of these people, some of them are quite sensible, some are stupid. Like, I'm going to go to his house and fucking get the stuff back. It's like,
no,
so
it doesn't work that way.
You're going to commit breaking and entering and then assault this guy. It's like, so all you're going to do is get arrested. You're going to get arrested and then pay a victim surcharge and give him even more of your money. But like,
Jesus.
And they're like, oh, that's only if I get caught. It's like, you're literally saying this in a Facebook chat that we've put together for all the victims to compile evidence, and you're literally talking about committing a crime in the chat that we're going to send to the police as evidence.
The entirety of this chat is going to go to the cops.
Exactly. So it's just like, good job. But that's where we are so far. Because basically, I've been speaking to a lot of the victims, and yeah.
So have you got in contact with the police about this yet, or is it still?
I haven't, because I'm not really involved. I've literally just, my brother's not great with this kind of thing.
You just basically facilitated this.
Basically, I'm doing it for him, and I'm helping all the victims out. And now I've actually found the person and his address, and I've linked it all together for them. So literally, I've done the work. I've just said, all you need to do, call the police. Here's your, get your incident number. Once one of you has got an incident number, the next one, call the police, quote that incident number, because it will tie it all together. Basically, we're doing all the police's work for them. So all they've got to do is, here's what's happened, here's the address, here's all the people involved. Bingo.
Yeah, or that. Well, they will still probably have to go and speak to each individual person who's dealt with it, and then and then they'll have to obviously go get the guy, and then it's obviously the process from there, which is. It'll probably, let's face it, with the way the law system works here, he'll probably get a slap on the wrist and a fine.
Well,
shit.
He's committed 2 counts of identity theft that I know of. So far, he's committed 6 acts of genuine theft, each time well over like hundreds of pounds. Like he's stolen each time. It's either been an item that's been worth like 300 quid, or it's been a few £100s in money. So there's at least 6 counts of theft. So, and apparently it's happened before, and by the sounds of it, because the people are idiots and, I'll go batter him.
And he stops.
Sorry, I'm checking my phone because it's still. I'm checking my phone because it's literally happening right now. Yeah, so it's all ongoing basically, but I think it's a case of, because people have been so blasé with it, they've not had any evidence and they couldn't do anything about it. Whereas I'm literally saying, here's all your fucking evidence, give that to police. That should be enough.
I think the fact that you got a picture of him is the best bit, because it's like, you done
stood outside the house.
Please tell me it's one of those pictures. Please tell me it's one of those pictures where he's like holding up a certificate of like passing a driving test,
with his name on it as well.
With his name on it, just like smiling with the car fucking behind him.
It may as well just say "dumb cunt" on it. To be honest.
Basically,
the thing I find funny about how the amount of people that do shit like that is, I'm sure you don't need to link your own private address to a PO box address.
No,
so you could literally just, I'm going to steal some shit and get it sent to my house. I know, I'll set up a PO box address that can't be linked to me, and then use 60-second email accounts that you can get online, which are free, and then delete themselves after a certain amount of time once you've done whatever you're doing. It's like, it is not difficult to do this shit. Like,
this is the problem with them. They're all stupid. Like, they don't know this. They're the type of people who put incognito mode on and think, cops can't catch me now. Incognito mode.
When it blatantly says in front of them, your ISP or the person who controls your network will still see this traffic.
It honestly makes me crease when you hear people say that.
I laughed at a guy who I used to work with. He's still a friend, actually. He's quite a cool guy, and I was down at his desk back when I worked at the previous place, and I think we was talking about the new Dead or Alive, because I think Dead or Alive 6 was coming out soon or something, and I said to him, "Oh yeah, they've unveiled some of the new like outfits you can get for pre-ordering it. Some of them are very nice." And he instantly went and did a fucking incognito tab in the office, and I literally said to him, "You do realise that does fuck all in the office, seeing as we control the internet?" And actually, like, the two people around him just burst out laughing like, "Have you been doing that thinking they can't see your shit? You some kind of idiot."
Yeah, all it stops it is just being stored on that local machine.
Yeah, it's so literally if you watch The Dirty or are buying stuff for your significant other on the shared machine, no history or cookies are left there for them to find.
Mate, we all know it's The Dirty that people are using. That advert that came out is the bloke. He's fucking buying that anniversary ring.
Fucking ring. It's like
fucking shit.
He's been
what he was really hiding was these
different rings.
Yeah. One man, one jar, bro. That's what he's trying to hide. Get out of here with this anniversary ring bullshit.
The thing I find funny is, like, I mean, even to this day, like, obviously, incognito mode is, like, a massive thing. But, like, near enough all of us, I know in this house alone, I have, like, 4 or 5 personal devices or computers that I use, which my wife doesn't use. The only time she uses this PC is if I, like, call her while I'm away from home and ask her to, like, get it to do something for me, like a render or an upload or the stream starting for the podcast or whatnot. And she's got easily, like, 5 or 6 devices that I don't use. Yet, incognito mode is still used on my phone. Even though it's like I'm the only one that has access to this phone, yet I'm still using incognito mode.
See, part of me does that. I do that as well, but I don't think it's really part of me which is like, oh, I'm like scared of showing the history. I just can't be asked with like removing the history off my phone, because like if I pull out my phone and I go to my parents, I'm like, oh, let me show you this, and I pull up Firefox on my phone, what I use,
big titty,
just says jav, big titty dot jav.
It'd be one of those things where it's like, oh, I need to show you this thing. It was a gift I found. It's on present.com, and you type in P, and all of the autofill is just Pornhub /hentai all the way down the screen. And they're like, oh yeah, present.com, yeah.
Well, it's not like, I think there's also well, to be honest, I must admit, like, my phone's not the safest, but I mean, I do kind of worry, like, if I accidentally left my phone on the side unlocked, and like one of my cousin's kids came in and like picked it up, like young children. But
yeah, that is
usually I've got it on me. That's like something I kind of worry about sometimes, because like just on my, like, I'm not going to show this, but I've got a book reading app for manga.
Oh, I know this one. And you've hooked it up to Hentai, haven't you?
Well, I've actually found a better source than Hentai, and I use
what the fuck is this sacrilege?
I use Mangadex, and I get both. So I can have loads of normal manga and also that R18 plus good stuff.
See, I'm quite lucky with my phone. I don't really need to worry about it being left on the side and stuff, because one of the things I've used with my phone is I have it encrypted. So unless I try and access it with like my thumbprint, Face ID or password, the data's encrypted. So even if someone pulled out the storage, attached it to something else, it couldn't do anything. And I'm sure I remember reading somewhere, like, I'm sure Apple doesn't have this yet, or if they does, it was a recent thing or something.
It's always a recent thing. They're like, oh, look what we just did. This is great. And all the Apple product buyers are like, we got this first. It's like,
I've been encrypting my phone for like 5 years. Literally, I think as soon as it was either an update that was done for the version of the Android I was using on the phone I was using at the time, or I got a new phone that had it. Ever since I've been able to encrypt my phone, I instantly encrypt my phone, because there's too much sensitive data on there nowadays. When I think about it, I mean,
there is
I have my banking app on there, which I use literally daily. It's got my cards and stuff stored in there, which I use when I'm purchasing stuff online. Obviously, it's got loads of my passwords synced in there because of the way that these phones connect to each other. So I need this to be secure.
I don't know if I've got mine. See, it gives me an option to encrypt my SD card, which is like, that's all well and good. But
I think that was been a standard thing for quite some time, because I think I encrypted mine just because I had some very specific pictures on there that I did want to make sure no one got access to. But moving
what's
aside,
that pictures for those? Dick pics.
There were your dick pics.
Fuck.
This is why I encrypted them. I knew you were sensitive about the size.
I've done a few things on Skype before when I was younger, and whoever was monitoring me, I'm watching you, and I know you've seen it.
Well, I need to actually ask this, because it's something that I can say I've never actually. So, never in my entire life have I ever like exposed myself on a video call or took a picture of myself exposed to send to someone or give to someone in any way. The only time I've had a picture of me exposed done was with an ex while we was both doing stuff. That's the only time I've got a picture of me exposed.
What's the porno link?
No, this is literally what as soon as like the session was finished, she fucking deleted it because she didn't like the angle that her face was shown. It's like, that's not really the purpose of this video, but okay.
My ballsack looks weird in this shot.
But
Next time, let me moisturize it first, then I'll let you keep the recording.
Have you guys ever done any of that stuff before?
I've never done like a picture and sent it to somebody, but I have done a Skype call with somebody.
Okay.
I wasn't too worried about it because I know she's not clever enough to have
recorded it.
Recorded it.
I've sent pictures and also done videos.
Just tell Danny I would like to be receiving those shortly.
Yeah, I'd like some of that as well. We want to see this cake.
Don't worry, I'll store them on my encrypted phone so no one can get access to them.
Yeah, I'm just encrypting my SD
It's okay,
card.
they're safe with me.
The best bit is, like, my entire phone's encrypted, but there's literally a section in my phone called the safe, which is also encrypted.
But then you should encrypt the encryption.
My favorite
thing
encryption. So I encrypted your encryption so you can encrypt while you encrypt.
My favorite thing is on like all our computers now at work and all like the businesses we support, they have encryption on most of them. So you have to do a BitLocker pin in first.
BitLocker, yeah.
Yeah, and then thingy. And the amount of people who whinge, I say, right, I don't like to pry in too much, but we all know you've got your own personal email on there, your own personal credit card details, and we all know you're not very clever when it comes to keeping stuff on you because there's multiple of you who have all, like lost it, left it somewhere, someone's picked it up on the train and stuff. Imagine if they got into it and they got all your credit card details, they got all your accounts, they just went on a spine spree. Why do you think that? And it's just like people don't understand that that's actually a really, really big problem. Yeah. And they just
especially with a lot of the people like of that age group, especially the ones that like you support, like your place
fucking
when I was there.
Boomers.
And they oh, 1 second, sorry. I need to sneeze.
I'll continue. And if anybody sees this who I support and you heard me call you a boomer, yeah, you're a fucking boomer. What are you gonna do about it?
that age group, I really don't think they understand the sensitivity of data and the risk of data. Like, as funny as it is, like, my grandma is terrible with like computers. She asks me literally every single time I'm around to like help her.
My nan's not allowed near computers. Yeah. She's still got an old phone.
But the thing I will always praise her for, even though she is a massive fearmonger about it, she will not do anything on that computer if it scares her in any way. She doesn't open any link. Good. She doesn't open any link from any email, even if it's like, this is definitely Amazon. She refuses to do it because she's scared. She has tape covering like her webcam at all times, and they have their Wi-Fi on a timer. So like, as soon as it reaches a point where it's like, yeah, they're going to bed, it will just turn the Wi-Fi off just so no one
that's
can do
dedication.
Anything. But that's how
OPSEC, that is.
But that's how scared she is. So it's just like, but she's doing the right things. It's at the end of the day.
Prime security, really. Yeah. I mean, turning your Wi-Fi off in the middle of the night is perfect because you can't monitor it.
Yeah, as soon as your Wi-Fi is off, there is no fucking network for them to breach anyway, so...
Yeah, unless they've broken in, they plug in a bloody Ethernet cable like some sort of weirdo. And if they're breaking in, they're not likely to do that, are they?
No, when people do physical break-ins, they're not after data. It's physical objects at that point.
There's a guy I found on YouTube. He's fucking brilliant, and he gets the scammers and he gets on the phone with them.
Is that the one I sent you?
Yeah, and he goes back into their systems. Oh, mate, when he's watching these they're like, how do you know what my name is? And he's like, oh, well, would you like to know?
I think the best one from that entire thing that I watched was the one which, I think it was on like BBC Watchdog, or it was a show like that. Basically,
it was the one where he got the CCTV.
Because of the security of their network, he got access to their CCTV infrastructure, so he could literally like figure out not only the names of these people by doing the tricks they do to you.
Who, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he could literally put a picture to their face, and the best one, like there was one guy that he kept on getting on the call every now and then. And what this guy would do, because he knew the script so well, he'd literally sit there playing Pac-Man because they weren't allowed their phones while they were working. He'd sit there playing Pac-Man. So he'd be on the phone with him. They'd have this back and forth, and this guy is trying to refuse the scam. And then all of a sudden you go, maybe if you stop playing Pac-Man and talk to me, we could get through this conversation. And you literally see him like physically like get shook, like, what the fuck?
My favourite bit is where he's talking to him and he goes, yeah, this machine's just a virtual machine. And it's like the fact that these scammers haven't clued themselves up for their own scam to be like, this is what a virtual machine looks like. When you go onto a machine, if you see this, you will know it's like, you can tell that it might be a virtual machine. But they're just
he is good at hiding it. He is good at hiding it.
Yeah, oh no, without a doubt. Like, he's hiding it, but they don't even seem to have like, they don't even check themselves to make sure this isn't somebody who's just going to like get them.
He literally he did a video to literally show how to make a virtual machine look like a physical machine. Sorry, Ollie, you go on.
It's okay. I was just going to say there was one where he has a really good voice filter, so he sounds really convincingly like an old lady. But it's things like, where there's the scams like, oh, you need to pay us in Amazon gift cards or something like that. Yeah. He'll make a thing that generates like, he looked at how they did it and then made a fake website to buy the cards. And obviously the idea would be that he'd buy the cards and give them the code, but instead he'd buy them and then he'd redeem the codes himself, like in front of them, and just like, but he'd do it like 3 times with like thousands worth. Like you could just hear the scammers just getting more and more irate, and it's so funny.
I think like there was one particular one that really like made me like, this is fucking wrong, and like this is fucked up. And it was the one where like he showed the video where basically the guys, I think the scam that it was, because it was a CCTV one again, the scam they would do basically would have this massive, it would basically lock up your machine with like a window that you had to basically task manager kill. And it would just be blaring noise saying, this computer has a virus, you need to call this number for us to fix it. And a guy called up, did the usual scam stuff going through with them, and then as soon as they let him know like how much money he'd have to spend, he fucking bursts into tears, crying, and they was asking like, what's wrong? And he's like, the guy has like major manic depression, and they're fucking berating him on the other side of the phone. Like every now and then he's muting the phone, and obviously because you got the CCTV watching it, they're muting the phone. You can see him turn and talk to some of the other guys. You can't hear what they're saying because the CCTV didn't have audio in that area of the building. But he's saying something to the guys, and then like there's like 3 or 4 of them just laughing on the other end of the phone.
Like, and the thing is though, these people are just like, it's such a scummy job, number one. It's like they're not even earning that much out of it, because the person who's getting the money out of it is the person at the top.
Yeah,
they may as well get a real job. They'll get a better pay. They'll get actual training, and they'll be able to do a proper job. I mean,
the thing is, they've got enough terminology down to probably actually do, an actual fucking IT support job.
Yeah, they're like at base level for doing the first kind of exam. So you're thinking, like, all they have to do is save a little bit, do the exam.
They'd be able to do first line support, fucking log and chuck. That's what they'd easily be able to do that, because that's not a difficult IT support role.
The thing is, though, like, the problem is nowadays there's a major call in different countries and stuff, like wherever you are, to have local support wherever you're at.
Yeah,
I think you'll always find that, like, because and it's a crap way to think, but like sometimes it's just like the translation, the back and forth, with the broken English or second language, it's not the best. So it's a bit of a like. I mean,
for me with that, because that's one of those things where it does. The thing that bothers me with call support is I want to speak to a native English speaker, someone that can speak at a native English level. That is just because I've not got the greatest of hearing as it is, and I would need to be able to clearly understand you over the phone, especially if I'm dealing with technical issues or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's what I need. That's it. I don't care if you've got native English speaking level and you are living in Bangladesh and you are a Bangladeshi person.
As long as you can speak fluent English to an extent that you need.
Yeah, if you are fluent to a native level, that is perfectly fine for me. It really annoys me when people just do it's just all foreign call centre bullshit. At the end of the day, they're working. That's fine. As long as you can.
The thing is, these are the type of people who won't do the job over here when they offer it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if you're not good, and you're just sat here not doing a job at the moment, but you're complaining about having to call through to somebody in a different country, well, it's because you're not putting your name down to do the job in the first place. And I mean, even if you do get somebody from this country, you usually go through to somebody from like Liverpool or somewhere, and you're like, Jesus Christ, I still can't understand them.
This is even worse.
This is worse than the previous call.
You're just like, what the fuck are they saying, man?
You know I said native English speaker, Liverpudlian doesn't count. Scouts doesn't count.
Yeah. If they've got a really thick, like, Birmingham accent as well, sometimes that can be a bit tricky.
I used to work with a guy who's from Birmingham. I used to piss him off by calling him a yam yam, and every single time his response would just be a massive voice break and him going, "I'm not a fucking yam yam."
I mean, to be honest, all over the UK, it's like you just talk to anybody and you're just like, what the fuck is this accent? Because you'll go through to somebody in like Yorkshire and they'll be like really thick Yorkshire accent.
With no,
you go all the way down to Cornwall or Devon and you're just like, Jesus Christ, what is this accent? I mean, the only really good place is the Midlands, that's all I'm saying.
Based Midlands. Specifically the West Midlands.
Oh, get a fork. Get out of here.
Right near the Welsh border.
Wait. East side.
West side is... But I guess it's weird because you don't hear your own accent as well.
Yeah,
no,
like
that is true.
I spoke to someone earlier with regards to this scam thing, and I said like because the scammer we worked out is like down in Somerset, and I said how like we're in Shropshire, and she's like yeah I can hear you've got quite a strong accent, and I was like have I? I can't hear it.
I mean,
wait, they're in Somerset and they're not buying tractor parts.
That's the weirdest part.
That's the real question.
Well, I mean, given that it's for Ford Mark 7 diesel Ford Fiesta, they might as well be tractor parts.
Yeah, true. I think the weirdest part with like accents, like I know with yours, Ollie, like people may say yours is a thick accent. I personally, having been to Shrewsbury and going around like the shops in your area, I don't find yours to be a very thick Shrewsbury accent.
No, I only notice my accent. I notice I occasionally drag my R's a bit. Like I hear it occasionally, but I would say, at least from my perspective, my accent's fairly neutral, and I'd say the same with yours. I can hear a slight accent with you, Ryan. There's a slight like northernness to it in how you. It's not even.
Hi, Governor. How you doing?
Just how you pronounce a couple of words, but again, like it's only slight. I'd still say your.
I must admit, I am like that kind of weird middle ground.
Well,
I mean,
for example, you said must, whereas I'd say must. Like it's just like a slight difference.
Hello, pip pip.
With my accent, I know when I kind of had to force my accent out because even though I only went to university literally the next town over, which was like a 10-mile, 12-mile difference from where I was born, because of all the different like eclectic group of students joining us. We had loads of people from down south. We had a load of people from really far out west in like the furthest reaches of Wales, and then like we had like some guys from up north and like Newcastle. So when me and my friend spoke, because we'd literally only been in Nottingham pretty much all our lives, and the Nottingham accent, if you are saying Nottingham in a Nottingham accent, it's Nottingham.
Nottingham.
So there's no T's, there's no G's, there's no H's. A's that have ham, it's instead of ham.
Yeah, I say that.
So, and we speak really, really fast if you have a thick Nottingham accent. So I was there, and my friend was there, and people just couldn't understand us. So we like had to force ourselves to try and like speak a kind of more standardized accent.
BBC English.
Yeah, it was kind of like force yourself to do that just so people could understand you, and it kind of stuck. I mean, I think especially moving back to Nottingham, it slipped back into it a little bit, but nowhere near as bad as it was when I like first went to uni.
I think like I've got a bit of a mixture of Derby and Nottingham. And like Derby's my favourite, like just to like try and get people to find Derby on the map from down south. Well, my favourite part is, first of all, they'll be like, "You sound northern." I'm like, "I'm from the Midlands. It does exist. It is here. Please acknowledge
down
us."
South and hearing that every fucking hour.
Yeah,
Northerner.
I'm like, acknowledge this. This is a thing. The Midlands. I'm not the North. I'm the Midlands. And then they'll be like, "What's the Midlands?" I'll be like, and then you've got some people from down south who are like, "Oh yeah, Milton Keynes is in the Midlands." I'm like, "No, it fucking isn't." It's fucking not.
I love when people say, "What's the Midlands?" I literally say exactly what it sounds like. The middle of the land.
The land.
The middle of the lands.
The best part is like, I've got my one friend, and she's like, God bless her soul, she's a little bit, she's a blonde at heart. You know, she's sometimes it's a bit like,
that's misogynist, you shouldn't say that.
But she's sat there, and I go, "Yeah, I live in Derby," and she goes, "Where's that?" I say it's next. It's next to Nottingham. She goes, "There's a Derby." And I go, "Yeah, it's just in between there. It's right around there. It's near Derby and Nottingham." And I've got her searching for like 10 minutes trying to find Derby. I'm like, Derby is Derby. God damn it.
I think one of the craziest things is like, especially when you like look on the map of like the scale of things, like Derby is quite small, but then you look at Derbyshire.
It's tiny. It shouldn't it shouldn't be a city.
Yeah. And then you look at Derbyshire, and Derbyshire is fucking massive.
Yeah. Well, they tried to make Shrewsbury a city, and it's like, Shrewsbury's fucking tiny.
Shrewsbury is a town at best.
The thing is,
it is a town. It is a town.
Milton Keynes is what I'd say. I'd probably say, yeah, this is probably just hitting, city standards. I'd like give it.
Yeah.
Nah, it's a town. It's bigger than Derby, but it's not. Yeah, it's not a city.
We've done gigs. Me and Becky, the wife, have done gigs in Milton Keynes. I think we've done 2 gigs there, and we did them on like the outskirt pubs. You want the outskirt pubs that are like usually like the Sizzling Grill and places like that. Like the chains that are better than Wetherspoons, put it that way. So
yeah, well, anything's better than Wetherspoons.
We had like a few gigs on like the outskirt pubs of the town in those places, and like you're just on the outskirts and you can see it's like this place is pretty fucking big. The only annoying thing, the big annoying thing about Milton Keynes is like the amount of fucking roundabouts in Milton Keynes.
Oh my lord, thank God.
Is so fucking horrendous. Like, fair enough.
They're so shit.
Roundabouts
I know my way around.
For traffic. Yeah, roundabouts are better for traffic. That is fair enough. But when you are literally going around the roundabout every 50 fucking yards, because every single junction in Milton Keynes is a fucking roundabout, when you're in a Qashqai with a fuck ton of equipment in the back, it gets a bit fucking tedious.
I'm there. I'm like, the worst part is I used to, in the Clio, I'd get up to speed down there, and by the time I got up to speed, I'd be at another fucking roundabout. She'd be like, for God's sake, man. Now I get up to speed, but I'm braking hard when I hit these roundabouts. And it's just like, people go, oh, do you not know you? I'm like, I have to have a sat nav on. Because
Milton Keynes,
every
definitely.
single one of those roundabouts, except for a couple near where my friend lives, are exactly the fucking same. I swear to God. And they're like, oh yeah, it's just 2 roundabouts down. I'm like, they all look the fucking same, mate. How am I meant to?
It's weird because I think it's I think it's the most recent city that's been built or town.
Well, it's not a city, but yeah, it's new.
So
that's because it's all grid. They've done it like the States,
like America, yeah.
But they've used roundabouts because, let's be honest, if you do a grid like in New York, you're just gonna fuck it even more.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I let them off with the roundabouts.
Yeah,
because
it's just not that bad because of the roundabouts.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but
it's still shit. I still hate driving it.
Oh, absolutely hate it. As soon as you're out of it and you hit the M1, and the M1 doesn't seem as bad, you're like, this massive straight road is amazing.
The M1 sucks to drive down. I literally drive that road for fucking miles.
Mate, it's fucking ass now. They've got all the points on it as well.
Yeah.
Smart motorway.
I can't.
Nah.
I don't want to talk about driving right now. I've got another fucking drive to do, like in a couple of days. I want to talk about what I've been listening to while I'm driving all those long journeys.
Here we go, boys.
So
how long have we gone into this talking about accents and roundabouts?
About 35 minutes.
That's not too bad. I thought we were like 40 minutes in now. I was like,
because I know what we're going to talk about next. I already have a really good title to think of, so I'll let you guys know at the end. But on Ollie's recommendation over a couple of podcasts, and because of what we are wanting to do in future, I started listening to Not Another D&D podcast on my journeys.
Very, very good podcast.
Oh my fucking God. I actually pissed myself laughing at multiple times while I'm listening to this, and
it's so good.
I want to play D&D so much right now because of this podcast, because I already know the kind of character I want to do, because I know I'm not very good with the spells and the maths and all that. I'm literally just going to create a character that just think Guts from Berserk, except he doesn't speak. Not because he doesn't want to speak. He's going to have this really fucking intimidating face, so like I can do like intimidation rolls or something. But he's actually just incredibly nervous and anxious all of the fucking time. So whenever he tries to speak to someone, all he hears in his head is just internal screaming. So, but like he'll walk over to like a bartender, and he'll be there like pepping himself up in his brain, like, come on, you can do this. Just ask for that beer. Just ask for that beer. He gets to the bartender, and his eyes just go, and then the internal screaming happens. And the bartender looks at him, sees how fucking intimidating he is, and just gives him the beer anyway.
I mean, D&D is like, I think my only it's a bit of a love-hate for me. Like, I've never really played it. I played Pathfinder once, which is basically D&D but overcomplicated, and it was just like a one-off. And I think my main problem is it's just like, I want to play it, but you need to find a DM. And it's like, I'd prefer to play with a DM who is somebody I already know. I don't want to just kind of go into like some random game with some random person, you know. And like, we did look at, like, me and my friends looked at it, and I said like, yeah, I'll do it. So we put ourselves down, and I said like, just tell them like, 1 week in a month or something, I might not be able to make it because of work. And they were like, no, we can't have you, mate, if you're not going to be able to make it.
See, that's the kind of shit I've noticed with D&D, and it's really annoying because they constantly want people to be inclusive, yet as soon as there's anything that could potentially stop you from going for 1 week or anything like that, it's like an instant stop.
It's like, and bear in mind, a majority of the people who are going to be playing this were students, and there was a couple of other people who are working, like just people who are working like me. I was just the only one with a shift where it might affect it because I've got to get home and stuff.
Yeah.
And then like 2 weeks later, I was talking to my friends, and they were saying, oh yeah, like one of the guys hasn't turned up or wasn't able to turn up because they were doing something with uni. And it's like, and they were fine with that. It's like, They didn't even give you a pre-warning. I gave you a pre-warning and said sometimes I might not be able to come.
Yeah.
But most of the time I'll try and make it so I can come. And they were like, no, yeah, we don't want you in there. Another thing to mention is I was the only male who wasn't allowed in. Like the only person who wasn't allowed in was me, and I was male. The people who were not making it there were female as well.
It's because your flapping dick would distract them, dude.
It's because I didn't have titties for them to look at. And I was like, bro, it's D&D. Get the fuck out.
I think like the past, because I've listened to not another D&D podcast I'm listening to at the minute, and then one of the other times, the only other experience I have with D&D was Funhouse played D&D. And they recorded it, but they put it behind that Rooster Teeth First shit that I'm not paying for because I don't have anything on there I want to watch really apart from that. But what they do is they'd release like 1 or 2 episodes of the podcast to like really get you interested and then try and make you pay for it, which obviously is a business model that works. And in both of those campaigns, there was always a female character in the game, that had massive jugs that would utilize them all the time. Because obviously in the D&D podcast one, there's Moonshine from the Crick, who has massive tits in her overalls. And then in...
Moonshine from the...
Yeah, she's proper southern. She has like a proper southern drawl, and she's like, whenever
generic
someone, like,
hillbilly, really.
Whenever someone like starts a fight, now this ain't very hospitality of you at all, or something like that. And then in the Funhouse one, it was Bruce Green's character was like it was like a red demon lady or something with massive tits who barely wore any clothing, and she would constantly try and like do sorts of things to try and get the paladin to go like immoral to his like beliefs and stuff.
I try and turn him.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to listen to or watch the Yogscast did them way back when. I'm pretty sure the Yogscast were like some of the first people I saw doing it as like a YouTube video. I don't think I saw anybody do it before them either. I think they were probably some of the first to do it, like at least in the UK. Yeah. And theirs were just like the characters and the like what they were doing was just stupid and funny, and it was meant to be to be funny, and it had me creasing. I was like, this is really cool. And the only other one I've watched is Critical Role, which is amazing for like the storytelling. Like Matthew Mercer does an amazing job as DM and stuff. But sometimes like I don't know, for me personally, it just comes across a little bit cringe when they get I'd like to get into a character, but I don't think I could get into a character as much as they do at times, because they're like, oh god, this is a little bit cringe. But like, even as a kid, when I was playing and I'd be in a character, I wasn't that cringe.
Yeah, but it's one of those things like you don't have to go 100% ham. At the end of the day, you're playing it for fun, and it's to the level which you find it fun. If you've got like a dungeon master saying, oh, you need to get into your character more, and it's like, well, I'm doing what I am enjoying, that's all it should need to be.
Yeah, I'm doing the character in the way I'd like to do it. It's your character in the end as well.
It's another reason why I want to play the character that doesn't speak. One, because I know for a fact I don't want to mess around trying to think of a voice for them and keep the voice going and try and keep consistency. I just want him to constantly be there, just try and talk to them, and then just stare them down like scared shitless, but he's so intimidating that he gets what he wants anyway.
Part of me's like, I think another thing is I don't want to have to like, the only other thing I've like don't like about it, the idea of it, is having to like lock yourself down to doing it. So it's like every Saturday I've got to do this. Like that's the problem I see with my friends.
You don't have to.
Yeah, like but a majority of the people who are running these games are like that, where they're like, we do it every week, every other week. And I see it with my friends, like my mates, like, oh, I can't do anything this week after work because I've literally just got a week of D&D where he does a different game like every day. I've then got another friend in the one I mentioned, one of my friends I mentioned earlier, and she's literally like, I don't think there's ever a time where she's not playing D&D. So I'm at a point where like you watch like that and you're like, you're playing way too much of this and you're not actually doing anything in the real world.
That's like the WoW.
Like, yeah, no, that's literally what it was. And she's like, she just doesn't do anything other than D&D, like from like the perspective of anybody else. Like, because she's currently not working at the moment because obviously Rona, and then she's just
Rona.
Well, but even
Rona.
before then, I'd say like she was still playing unhealthy amounts of the game because it's like, what the fuck are you doing other than this? It's like this is all we see is you playing this goddamn game.
Well, I think if we're gonna play it, because like let's face it, all three of us have expressed the wanting to play it, and obviously Ollie, Danny said she wanted to play it as well. So we've all expressed the want to play this. But I'm gonna outright say I don't want it to be a weekly thing. I want it to just be like we do a session, and then at the end of that session, we then all talk and say, right, when do we want to next do it? When are we next free?
Yeah.
When do we want to just put some time aside to do it? So that way, then at the end of the session, we can all go. Next week's really busy for me. Can we do one in 2 weeks, and then hopefully try and get a session sorted there?
Monthly, or like every 2 weeks and stuff. I think that like comes across better. But I think that's the problem is it just feels like you're tying yourself down to sit in a room. Like, don't get me wrong, like you can have some really amazing experiences, but I'd rather be free and have the ability to be like, it's a beautiful day outside right now. I don't have to sit here and play a board game. I can actually just go out and go and do something. Do you know what I mean?
But why would you want to go outside?
Because I want some fresh air. I've been locked in this room for like months now.
But
I've been streaming solid every day for a week now, like for weeks now. And I've still only got 11 followers.
But outside though, I mean,
I want to go outside.
I nearly had to work outside yesterday. It sucked.
Oh, mate, you don't realise how much I want to get outside. Just where I'm not going around near idiots who might have the Rona. That's my only problem.
You should see some of the fucking stipulations I've got with work. It's ridiculous.
There's a video of these guys going around on Venice Beach in Los Angeles. Is it Los Angeles?
The ones handing the masks out.
They're giving the masks out, and they're like, "Why won't you do it?" She's like, "I can't breathe." All right, Karen, sit down.
I had to wear one today to go get a haircut, and it's just like, you could barely even tell you've got it on, to be honest.
I've been wearing one at my work because we have to wear them. People were like complaining about them and stuff, and it's like, when you keep moving it around and keep taking
it's only because you're concentrating on it that you're getting annoyed at it.
What I noticed with me, especially, if people like take it off to try and get some air and then put it back on, then they're climatizing to that good breath. I left mine on for my entire 8-hour shift both times. The only time it came off was when I needed a drink of water or some food. Left it on. Got to the point where I couldn't even feel it. It just didn't bother me.
I mean, when you've got countries like Japan, where wearing a mask is just common fucking courtesy, it's like these people complaining, they're all boomers, number one, or really stupid young people. And if you're 20 or below 20, or even in your late 20s hitting 30, and you're saying, "Oh, I can't wear a mask," shut the fuck up. Like, honestly, just look in a mirror and shut the fuck up.
The best picture I saw of it. Oh, go on, Ollie, sorry.
I was just going to say, like, because it all comes through fucking stupid social media conspiracies. People thinking that
5G's causing Rona, not breathing on you.
5G. It's like, 5G. You know the 4G that's in your phone, in your pocket? It's that, but faster. That's all it is.
And you know what 4G? 4G's the same as that 3G, but faster. Yeah. It's like, in the end, that's all it is.
The best picture with, like, this mask bullshit, like, that made me laugh was someone just posted a picture of Kane, the wrestler Kane, and it was like this is a picture of Kane who fought for an hour and 30 minutes in the WrestleMania Royal Rumble and defeated 11 opponents, all while wearing a mask, and he didn't complain. It's like,
that's the legend.
If you see these people complaining, you're just like, I'm just really trying to get up this same level of stupidity as you, but I actually can't.
The amount of times I just wanted to say to people, just shut the fuck up when I was working with them because of these face masks. And, like, fair enough, like, the face masks we're wearing at my work currently, they're just the fabric ones. They're not, like, medical grade or anything like that. And people are complaining.
But it stops the spread, though.
That's
this is what I was trying to say to them. They were saying, "Oh, it's not protecting me." And it's like, it's not about protecting you. It's about stopping
everyone else.
There was a good picture I saw in, like, an infograph, and it's like, person without it wearing a mask, about it only helps you about 2% if you're just the only one wearing it. If somebody with it's wearing it, it's like 70 something percent. It's like that's 70 extra percent that you've got less likely of catching it. Then if you both wear them, it's like 80%,
isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's like a 2% chance of it still going round.
Yeah. And it's like, but these people are still sat here complaining and going, "Oh, but I can't breathe." And like most of them haven't even put a mask on. It's like,
no.
Yeah, you're not even tried it.
Where's your point? Like, all these doctors with the same masks on. Oh yeah, like hours and hours worth of surgery. Don't see them taking them off when they're trying to work on you, coughing on your intestines. Do you know what I mean? It's
there was a fucking awesome picture I saw. I think it was basically doing that, like, you wear it, there's this percentage, they wear it, it's this percentage. It was basically the exact same thing, except it was on about pissing. And it was literally like, if you got two people standing in front of you, and standing next to each other, and one guy pisses and you're both wearing no trousers, he's going to piss on your leg and you're going to have a wet leg. If you wear trousers and then he pisses on your leg again, yeah, some of it will get through, but you'll just have wet trousers. But if you both wear trousers and he tries to piss on your leg, he's just only going to wet himself.
It's perfect analogy. Perfect. Unless he undoes the fly. But I mean, it's like, that's the thing. Like, I was
the whole argument.
I saw it was a streamer.
Under zipper on mask. Ooh.
I watched a streamer and he just goes, the amount of people I saw while it was like out of the shops, or I think he was at an airport or something, who'd be wearing a mask. They'd walk around and they'd go up to the attendant, like, or shopping attendant,
Take it off.
Take the mask down. What? Are you stupid?
That's the most important part to wear it.
Yeah, and it's like the only place I've seen, and I'll go, I accept that as a reason not to wear it, is at the gym. So for my gym, they've emailed us and they've gone, you don't we personally, we say, whilst you're exercising, you don't wear a mask, but you can if you want.
Am I gonna quickly just trip in there now? Everyone's saying, it's really, really difficult with the mask to exercise. The one thing you also need to take into consideration with wearing a mask when exercising, holy fucking shit, it does your lungs an amazing amount of training because of lung capacity.
Well, there's masks specifically for it.
Yeah.
There's masks but so I was like, that's fair enough, like when you're doing heavy, strenuous, like you're, running on a running machine, you're doing something that's like that you're putting your body in a motion when you're straining. I can understand, there being that leeway, but the one thing they said is do not work out face to face with somebody, and I'm like, that's perfect, because that's the main issue is when you're like right next to somebody breathing at somebody's face. So it's like, yeah. I think that's a perfect way to do it. The problem is people are just being so fucking downright ignorant about the whole
I'm really worried about what Ollie was about to do there. I just watched Ollie just like ever so gently move the microphone incredibly close to his face, and I was like, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna fucking do?
It's all fine.
Corona isn't real. I swear.
Ollie, with you, because obviously you do like the fucking welding and shit. I can only imagine you wearing those like fucking fabric ones, welding, and all of a sudden a spark just getting it.
And I'm on fire. Well, I do have a 3M particulate mask with the best filters you can buy. Like, the filters would actually block the virus, not just like droplets. It could actually, it's for like chemical gases. The problem is, I have a beard, so it doesn't work.
Yeah, it removes that fact.
But and we have
if you shave that beard, it's a war crime.
Exactly. So, but we have those. It's not for COVID. It's for when we're doing
the dust and the particulate.
It's the weld fumes.
Yeah,
the weld fumes. Really bad for you, so we wear them for that. But now we've got extraction in place, so we don't even need to wear masks anymore.
I mean, it's, when you think about what Ryan just said there, it's like, get the virus or war crimes? Virus, war crimes.
War crime.
I think war crime.
We've done enough war crimes and armour as it is.
Yeah.
Actually,
it's not the Geneva Convention, it's the Geneva Suggestion.
You know how we
Geneva
were just saying about
guidelines.
getting the virus. Like, I was talking to my sister, mentioned to me today. Apparently, in America, they're having COVID parties, and the idea of the party is to try and get it. It's like, what?
Fucking Darwin Awards!
I'm like, who sat there and goes, do I really want to try and get a disease, even if it isn't going to kill me? And then they're dying from it. It's like,
you know what I really want to try out? Fucking ventilators. Yeah, they sound like fun.
I think someone apparently someone who died of it, like when they went to the hospital with it, and they said, what the fuck did you do that for? And he said, like, I hadn't totally thought it through, and they died. It's just like, you're a fucking idiot.
I mean, yeah, it's sad that people are dying, but I mean,
it's very sad.
You're a fucking idiot.
I mean,
you're an absolute fucking dipshit.
I mean, it's just what's it called? It's just
Darwinism in action.
Thingy control. It's just
it's birth control.
Population
after
control.
The birth.
It's a late abortion.
They say how, like, we should just take the warning labels off of things and let nature take its course. These people are letting nature take its course when we have the warning labels.
This is a whole other level of stupid.
This sign has sharp edges, and also there's a cliff just behind it.
I'm gonna get a big paper, like, flipboard, and I'm coming with a fucking lab coat on next time, and we're gonna be pointing it. This is real, idiot. Big PP energy, small PP energy.
you know the situation is kind of fucked up in America when the biggest news I saw on Twitter recently was Trump wore a face mask.
Wore a mask.
It's like, that's fucked up if that's headline news.
Don't get me wrong, like, at first, like, some woman said, oh, I was ill over the weekend, but now I'm better, so I'm back in the office, and he just fucking books it. I'm like, for somebody who's saying the Rona isn't a problem, he seems to be running away from the Rona quite a lot.
It'll be so interesting, like, how much of a cover-up they'll try and do if Trump does get Rona. Because they'll try and cover it up.
What if he dies from Rona?
Because I'm sure they tried to cover that up they tried to cover it up a bit for Johnson over here. Because it was like, let's face it, they try and stop the press from getting the information, but obviously it always gets out. So, and he was the one there, like, oh yeah, herd immunity. Herd immunity is a good thing. Fucking goes and gets the virus.
Let me shake these COVID patients' hands.
To be honest, at this point, with the amount of people who actually seem to want to go that direction because they're not interested in wearing masks and stuff, fucking do it. Let them die.
Yeah.
If you're not looking after yourself.
Today. What was that? Sorry, Ali?
I was saying this, like, I was basically having the same conversation with the guy cutting my hair earlier, and I was just saying how, like, well, so many people, like, I drove through town to get to my appointment, and, like, it just looks like normal again, and barely anyone's wearing masks. There are some people wearing masks, credit to them, like, just groups of people stood together. And to be fair, there were some groups of people where you could tell they were talking to someone they knew and they were spread out, and fair play to them. But there were so many people, like, to be fair, young people as well, not old people. The old people seem to be doing it. It's like late teens just kind of hanging around. But
a lot of young people are doing it because they feel as if they're not at threat, because obviously it's a very low, it's a low infection and low death rate for young people.
But
there'll be a high death rate when somebody's aiming a sniper at their head.
Well, I was going to say,
fucking mask on, prick.
When you look at the deaths graph, there was a spike and now it's gone down. And like, it could go back up, but hopefully it won't now, because to be fair, people weren't doing it right when it was bad. So I don't think it will go bad.
I think but the annoying
all you can do is look after yourself.
Yeah, I think the most annoying thing is, especially the way the government dealt with like the reopen and stuff, and like especially like the close. Like the biggest bullshit thing I had is I went to the pub I used to work at, like the week before I went back to work. And asked them about it, because obviously the government said, we advise you to not go to restaurants and pubs and gatherings and places like that, but they didn't stipulate these places had to shut. So these places had literally a week of no one going in. So the amount of independent pubs that literally had a week of absolutely fuck all money coming in, and then they got shut. So it really fucked over a lot of like places. But then like the reopening stuff, it's like, all these places are allowed to open, like performance places and things like that, are allowed to open, but you need to keep this distance. It's like, I'm sorry, have you tried to build a set for a stage show while keeping social distancing? Because
you can't do it.
It doesn't fucking work when you've got to, I've got to carry a fucking like TV screen that's built into like a fucking prop lamp or something. I've got to be within a meter's distance of this guy. There's no other way to carry this thing.
It's I think it's just, if you can't do that, you need to be doing precautions. I think, like I say, the problem is communication. Communication from the government has been fucking awful on our half.
Yeah,
really awful.
Terrible.
I don't get me wrong. Parts of it, you're like, seems to be kind of getting a little bit better here, and you just like next day, it's like, well, that's just all out the fucking window, isn't it? It's just like they just, all of them are contradicting themselves. Like they're all saying stuff, like each person, but then like the next moment, like one moment they'll be like, "Don't go to work, but go to work." But don't go into work.
If you can go to work, go to work. But if you can't go to work, go to work. But work from home if you can. If you can't work from home, stay at home.
That's the thing. It's like there's a Q&A for our work, and our big boss, he
stop with
quoted,
the pen, please.
he quoted Bojo. He quoted Bojo, and Bojo said, "Go back to work." Right? But
Ollie,
the official government thing is still, if you can work from home, whatever the situation. But they're like, "Oh, we're listening to what Bojo's saying." I'm like,
that's what he said.
But he isn't the government.
It's literally the Goofy meme. I'll fucking do it again.
Do it again.
Yeah.
It's like, he's not the government. He is the prime minister, yes, but the government advice is still work from home if you can work from home. So there's a lot of people who are very disgruntled about, like, being told they've got to go back into the office. Me, I'm getting to, like, the worst thing about it is they're like, yeah, so like we're spreading you all out and we're like fucking zigzagging you about. But then apparently they're going to try and stop us from going to lunch, which I'm like, hell,
legally not allowed to do. Legally
as soon
not
as they
allowed
pull
to
that
do.
shit, I'll just be like, well, I'm packing my bags and going home and working from there because you're fucking stupid.
Bye.
And then they're telling us so they're bringing us back into the office, but they're telling us the kind of what we're kind of getting is they're going to probably be telling us not to wear masks because we're a phone bait. Obviously, we're taking phone calls. I'm like, so why even bring us back in? Because we can't take the phone calls. I heard we can't take the phone calls with the masks on, but we can do that from home because we're not in anybody's way where we're going to be spreading the disease. So why bring us back?
The way I've been seeing it, especially because obviously we have performers and singers and stuff, you're allowed, if you are not talking or singing or anything like that, you're allowed within 1 meter of someone. Under our
so if you're not breathing them.
It's a weird thing because technically, they try and probably advise you don't face each other, but you're allowed within 1 meter of each other. But if you are singing, you have to be 3 meters away from someone, and there has to be like barriers between you at times as well, which is like
They're just in a box on the stage. No, you joke about this.
I shit you not. That nearly was a plan. That was nearly a fucking plan to be done.
You joke about this, but the Japanese, I watched a clip of Japanese TV and it was this guy going on about it. And like everyone keeps praising Japan, but Japan actually haven't handled it very well either. They've done it better than us, but they haven't done it that well compared to like South Korea. South Korea, they were like, South Korea's prime minister was like, we're declaring fucking war on this bitch. As soon as it came around, it was like, boom, we're doing this shit.
They did the Bush Brigade on terror, but on COVID.
yeah. But Japan's like TV, like they did it. It was the English language which was spreading the disease, is what they said.
Oh, but
because
I saw that, but that's because of the way our pronunciation is. Because our pronunciation, they don't have like p and d in their like language, so theirs is very softly spoken, whereas us, we fucking spit our peas out kind of thing.
Do you know what the thing was, is like, one, the person who's saying pencil, like they were like, oh, can you hand me a pencil? It's like, number one, in today's day and age, how many times are you asking a person for a pencil? You're not. But and then they're like, pencil. They say pencil in Japanese, which is like empetsu. So there's still a put in it. but like they say it really calmly. But then when they go to say pencil, they're like, pencil, fucking pencil.
Yeah, I think that was basically doing like something along the lines of like this is a pen or something like that.
Yeah, this is a pen. Like this is there with a pen. Like
in Japanese, it's usually kore wa pen desu. So it's more of a ben desu kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they don't have an enunciation on that syllable. Whereas for us, it is this is a pen, and we have a very p. So I understand the idiocy. It's still idiocy though.
Yeah, it's like, it kind of makes sense, but it's still stupid as fuck.
The only reason I understand this idiocy is because I am also an idiot.
The best part about it is because it's Japanese TV. It's obviously got that. It's got loads of fucking text everywhere. It's just got some guy in the top corner. Like, oh, it's like, oh shit. It's like, what? It's like, and it's like flashing lights. They're like fucking Corona.
It's like that episode of The Simpsons where like that robot show comes on the screen and you just have a seizure.
Yeah, that is literally Japanese TV. I remember when I was out there. It's literally fucking sensory overload. Their TV is. It's fucking horrendous. And I find it funny because like anime is like the weeb thing, but out of every single channel that was on the TV when I was out there, anime was the only one that wasn't fucking overbearing.
That's why everyone watches anime. That's why even adults watch anime. It's because the normal TV is just shit. Because there was a broad in Japan's going on about it. He goes, their TV is just shit. Like it's honestly shit. Because he sat there and they come and interview him. And they're like, "Oh, are you YouTuber?
Are you YouTuber?"
And then they made him have a camera in like every shot.
Yeah, because as a YouTuber, it has to have a camera on hand at all times. They
do that a bit over here, but it's not as bad.
Yeah, we do need to look at closing up for today.
Let's close up now because I've got dinner. I want to eat.
Before we do, I just want to say one of my favorite quotes from the Natsuki movie On Abroad in Japan, and that was Natsuki going into a fucking restaurant with a fake samurai sword saying, "I kill customer."
He's the best. I need to finish watching that film, but he has me. He's great.
But so yeah, we'll close up for today. Again, like we said at the beginning, this is pre-recorded. So if there was people talking to us in the chat, we wouldn't be able to see it because we aren't actually physically there. This is all fake. But from
it's all an illusion.
From me, actually, no, I should actually plug the email again because I was just about to miss that. So if you do have any questions, queries, or stories you'd like to send our way, drop us an email at contextneededpodcast@gmail.com. There will be a Twitter and a Facebook page set up soon. Ryan just needs to get around to it. I
still haven't done it. I've been busy streaming, I swear.
Well, from me,
basically, Kyle, I'm a lazy bastard.
From me, Kyle, and then Ryan and Ollie. Fucking
sayonara.
just fucking punches his microphone and fuck this.
Insert Japanese goodbye text everywhere on screen now. See you later.
Well, if you've watched, thank you for watching, and if you're listening on any of the podcast services, thank you for listening, and we will see you again next week. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
See you later, shitlords.